A special birthday study. Yeah. This is from SD 47.16, all right? Volume 47. It is called the Gawesi Sutta, the discourse on Gawesi. Okay, now Gawesi is a normal noun as well as, in this case, a person's name. Okay? Gawesi means seeker, someone who seeks something. Now, what's interesting about this word is it is Pali. How is the word formed? Gawa means cattle, cow. And in Buddha's time, cattle or cow is wealth. Okay? So if it is lost, the people always look for it until they find it. And that's the verb AC. That means to seeker, one who seeks. Yeah? Gawesi, someone who searches, someone who seeks. Seeker, in this case it means seeker of truth. Here, notice the title is The Discourse on Gawesi, not to Gawesi. Because, why is that? Because Gawesi is not from our time. Gawesi is a lay follower who lived in the past Buddha's time, the previous Buddha. And that Buddha's name, anyone remember? The past Buddha? Kassapa. The Buddha Kassapa. Okay? So Gawesi was a layman in the time of the Buddha Kassapa. Okay, next thing, remember, look at the sutta number A5.180. So this is from the Book of Fives. The theme is keeping the precepts leads to spiritual fulfillment. Alright? Now this is a very simple sutta. It talks about being a leader, about being a good example, following the example of the Dhamma, and so on. Alright? Now let's look at the sutta itself, page 160. Gawesi Sutta, the discourse on Gawesi, A5.180. At one time, the Blessed One was walking on a tour of Kosala. Or if you like to use a big word, he was peregrinating in Kosala. That means walking. Those days, the Buddha would walk. Doesn't use transport like today. Eh? So wherever the Buddha goes, he would walk. So with a large community of monks. Okay, now you please sit down. We are on page 116. 160. Right at the beginning, number 1. Okay, so just very nice timing. So the Buddha was walking in the country called Kosala. All right, section 1. Now, section 2. The Blessed One, while traveling along the high road, saw a large sal grove. Sal tree is this tree goes straight up, and the flowers grow straight out from the trunk. I don't know whether you've seen this or not. I've seen this tree. You go to Botanic Gardens, there is such a tree. It's called the Shorea robusta in the English. Yes? Shorea robusta, the sal tree. So he saw lots of sal trees. So he saw this place. Seeing it, he came down from the road. Now notice this verb, came down from the road. That means it's the highway. Now, have you ever wondered why it's called highway, high road? So it's higher than a normal other land. So the Buddha comes down from the high road. So we know even in the Buddha's time, they have this kind of highway, high road. So the Buddha sees this very beautiful forest of sal trees, all similar, same trees, sal trees. So he comes down. The Buddha loves trees, loves forests, but this is special forest. So Buddha stops, and he walks down, followed by 500 monks. The Blessed One approached the sal grove, entered it, and when he reached a certain place, smiled. Okay, so this sutta starts with the Buddha smiling. Now then Ananda was with him. So Ananda represents us. So Ananda is the one who made this sutta happen. He asked the Buddha, section 4. Then it occurred to the Venerable Ananda, what now is the reason for the Blessed One smiling? The Tathagatas do not smile without a reason. Okay? So in other words, in the case of the Buddha, if he smiles, there is something going on. Okay? So the Ananda said, I want to know what's this. Then the Venerable Ananda said this to the Blessed One. What now, Bhante, is the reason for the Blessed One smiling? The Tathagatas do not smile without a reason. Right? Now, the Buddha answers by giving a teaching. Section 6. Once upon a time, Ananda, there was at this place a city, densely populated, its people wealthy and prosperous. Now Ananda, the Blessed One, Kassapa, the worthy Arahat, fully self-awakened one, lived depending on that city. So the Buddha said, in this very place, in the previous Buddha's time, it was Kassapa. Kassapa, the big city was there. Okay? That's why the Buddha smiled. Now Ananda, there was a lay follower, Upasaka, in other words, people like you, okay, of that Blessed One, Kassapa, the worthy, and so on. So the story is not about the Buddha Kassapa, it's a story about his lay follower called Gawesi. Ananda, on account of the lay follower Gawesi, 500 lay followers were inspired to confess faith, and they too, but they too did not keep moral conduct. Right? So now I've jumped one section. So this layman Gawesi, he feels faith for the Buddha, but he didn't keep the precepts. So this is a starting point of his life. So he is very inspired by the precept. He said, wow, this is wonderful. I want to follow the Buddha. But he didn't keep any precepts. Again, remember this sutta is similar to the previous sutta of the drunkard. Well, only the starting point. So don't jump into conclusions yet. Alright, next section, 10. Then Ananda, it occurred to the lay follower Gawesi, indeed, I have been of great benefit to these 500 lay followers, leading and inspiring them. But because I myself do not fulfill moral conduct, these 500 lay followers too do not do so, right? So this Gawesi is thinking, no, I have 500 friends, right? We're all the same level. I don't keep any precepts, they also don't keep any precepts. Thus, we are on the same level. It's no way do I surpass them. Now let me do something more. Now this line, do something more, is a very important phrase in Buddhism. It means don't stop your practice. Always ask, what's the next step? Where do I go from here? Right? That's called progress. Something more. From this day forth, declare Gawesi, venerables. Now, so he's telling his friends, he said, my friends, venerables. So this word venerable also can be for friends. Remember me as one who fulfills moral conduct. So from now on, I'm going to keep precepts. He tells his friend. Now notice he doesn't tell his 500 followers, he says, hey, you also must keep precepts. He didn't even say that, He simply keeps the precepts by showing his example. So the lay followers also follow the same. All right? Section 13. Then Ananda, it occurred to the 500 lay followers, the noble Gawesi is indeed of great benefit to us, leading and inspiring us. Now that the noble Gawesi will fulfill moral conduct, how much more for our part? Right? So if our leader keeps a precept, we also must keep the precept, right? Follow the leader in this case. Then Ananda, the 500 lay followers approached the lay follower Gawesi and said this to him. From this day forth, noble Gawesi, please remember these 500 lay followers too, as those who fulfill moral conduct. So here, this good friend and the leader, they witness each other. They kind of help each other, right? So notice you don't need any kind of ritual arrangement with monks or nuns. You, even as lay people, can witness each other in keeping the precepts, because we're talking about the Dharma here. Or if you have monks and nuns, even better, see? But you can do it yourselves too, as lay people, all right? Okay, this is the first part. Now you come to the second part, section 15. Then Ananda, it occurred to the lay follower Gavesi. Indeed, I have been of great benefit to these 500 lay followers, leading and inspiring them. Because I myself fulfill moral conduct, these 500 lay followers too do so, right? So they follow my example. But we are on the same level, yes? I simplify the sutta, right? So I say, but we are both on the same level. I keep precepts, they also keep precepts. So what can I do more now? What can I do for myself? How can I be better than them? All right? Otherwise, Gavesi is no better than the followers. See? So what next shall I do? 17, section 17. Then Ananda, the lay follower Gavesi, approached the 500 lay followers and said this to them. From this day forth, Venerables, remember me as a brahmachari, a celibate practitioner, living apart, abstaining from coupling, from sexual intercourse, the way of the village. So now we're talking about this. Gavesi is probably a retired family man. He's very happy, very contented, last part of his life, So he's very calm, very peaceful, and he's got his 500 followers are very inspired by him, look up to him as a leader. So he keeps precepts. His friends also, 500 friends also keep precepts. They say, oh, that's not enough, keep precepts. Why do I add one more precept? In other words, the third precept changes from Kamesu Michachara to Abrahmacharya Viramani. Abrahmacharya Viramani means totally have no relationship with anyone. Now, once someone says this, that means this person is getting ready for deeper meditation. See, for lay people, we keep 5 precepts. That means you have families, you run businesses, and you're engaged with the world. But because of that, there's a cause, you see. You can't do your deep meditation because you're always engaged with the body. So the 5 senses will distract us. We always have to deal with what we see, what we hear, what we smell, taste, touch. In order to attain the higher stage, that is non-returning and arahathood, you have to let go of the body and attain pure mind, so that you can attain jhana. To attain jhana, you must be able to let go of the body. Right? So this is what Gavesi is trying to do. He said, I'm going to let go of the body now. This is the meaning of Abrahmachari, meaning to have nothing to do with the physical senses, physical pleasure, sex. Okay, he's going to keep this precept voluntarily. Okay, now we're not told whether he's married or not. He's probably alone anyway. So I'm going to keep this brahmachari. Brahmachari means celibate. Brahmachari translates as holy life. Okay? We can also translate as celibate practitioner, like a monk or like a nun, if you like. So in this case, we will call him a lay renunciant, if you like. Okay. Well, it depends. If he has a home, you can't call him anagarika. Anagarika, that means he will be living with the monks also. Okay, anagarika means no home, but it's not a monk yet. So you can understand what happens now from the flow of the sutta, right? So the 500 followers also say, wow, our leader has taken up this celibacy rule, so we also should follow him. So they come to him, all the 500 of them. So this 500 got common, what's called group karma, right? So some people ask, is there such a thing as group karma? So this kind of sutta gives us evidence that it is possible. At least coincidence of karma. Okay, it doesn't mean our karma are the same. It's not like that. It's that because we think alike, there is this coincidence. All this good karma happen at the same time. Okay, so they also decided we also want to follow the example of our leader Gavesi. We also want to keep the precept of celibacy. All right. So they went to Gavesi and said, okay, we also follow your example. We are keeping this precept. All right. Now, then next stage, section 20, next page. Then Ananda, it occurred to the lay follower Gavesi. So he says, all right, so I benefited my 500 friends. I keep the precepts, and they also keep the precepts. Now I add one extra precept, celibacy precept, right? No sex. They also follow the same. We're still equal, right? So how can I do some more to be better than them? Yeah, kind of how do I progress? Okay, very Singaporean. Let me be atas a bit. In this case, a good one, okay, positive one. So I say, what can I do now? So next precept is, look at 22. Then Ananda, the lay follower Gavesi, approached the 500 lay followers and said to them, from this day forth, venerables, remember me as a single meal eater, single meal taker, who abstains from food at night, refrains from taking food at the wrong time. So this is another of the precept, precept number 6. You might as well say he's like almost taking 8 precepts, right? But the precept not mentioned is dealing with money. It's not mentioned, okay? So here he takes 1 meal a day only. So obviously he's going to do meditation, because he doesn't need so much food, right? So you find he's becoming almost like a monk. Notice here you have a story where this lay person followed the monk's rule but doesn't become a monk. Lay renunciation, right? So he says, only take 1 meal a day. So obviously that kind of life, you lead very peaceful life, meditation. You won't be doing physical work, right? And you don't need so much food. So it helps you in your meditation. It helps you to be healthy. So you know what happens next. The 500 lay followers also say, wow, our leader is taking 1 more precept. So we will also do the same thing. We also will take the precept of 1 meal a day. All right? So they announced this to Gavesi. So Gavesi is very happy. Now after this, what happens? Section 25. Then Ananda Gavesi, it occurred to the lay follower Gavesi. Indeed, I have been of great benefit to my 500 friends. I have kept the precepts, and they also keep the precepts. I keep the celibacy rule. They also keep celibacy rule. I keep the single meal a day rule. They also keep single meal a day rule. So we are again on the same level. So what can I do now to progress further? Okay. He decides to renounce the world. It's time to become a monk. Okay. So he actually becomes a monk. He goes to the Buddha. Which Buddha is this? Kassapa. He says, section 28. May I, Bhante, receive the going forth in the Blessed One's presence and receive the ordination. Right? So he becomes a monk. And that's not all. He's already living like a monk as a layman. So he goes into meditation and look at section 29 and 30. What happens to him? Section 29. The right going forth paracope. Paracope means it's a fixed set of words. No? Then Ananda, the monk Gavesi, not long after he was ordained, dwelling alone, aloof, diligent, exertive, and resolute, in no long time, right here and now, having realized it for himself through direct knowledge, in no long time at all, direct knowledge, attain and dwell in the supreme goal of the holy life, for the sake of which sons of family rightly go forth from the household life into homelessness. That means renounce the world, become a monk. He directly knows birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, done what is to be done. There is no more of this state of being. Indeed, Ananda, the Venerable Gavesi, became one of the Arhats. So he became Arhat. Alright? So now the 500 lay followers say, wow, our teacher has fully awakened. What shall we do? So they also become monks, all right? So they became monks, they practice, all right? And so that they can in time become, experience the joy of liberation, in other words. So in this case, there's something else. Section 36 to 37, Kawesi expressed the desire. He says, anytime I can attain this joy of liberation, you can attain jhana, in other words, because he's already awakened anyway. So it would be wonderful if these 500 monks too, the 500 friends, can also attain this kind of joy. So, and indeed, if you read the next page, 38 and 39, 40, the 500 friends followed the leadership of Kawesi. They practice. They also become arahats. So easy, those days, Kassapa Buddha's time. Now that's the story the Buddha is telling. The Buddha came down into the sal grove, smiled, and then the Buddha tells this story to Ananda. But what is the purpose of this story? Now this is what the conclusion is about, section 41. Therefore, see the word therefore? That means this is why the Buddha tells a story. He tells a story especially for Ananda. Now when the Buddha tells a story for Ananda, it means the story also is for us. Anyway, as long as you see the story in the sutta, it means it's for us, okay? Therefore, Ananda, you should train yourself thus. I shall strive ever higher. So this is the Buddha's birthday message for Brother Lo, and it's for you all, okay? So I shall strive ever higher. This is the aspiration we must make. Now I'm not saying do it right now or tomorrow or day after, but that's the aspiration. I shall put in more effort to go a little higher. Otherwise you stagnate, you're stuck, is it? Right? So, I shall strive ever higher in the ever subtler to realize the unsurpassed liberation. This, Ananda, you should train yourself. Thus, Ananda, you should train yourself. Right? So here, elsewhere, the Buddha says, I am your teacher. I have done my duty as your teacher. Whatever a teacher does rightly, I have done that. I've given you the teaching. Now it's up to you. You must practice. So, but Ananda understand all that. So the Buddha cut short the reminder and say, now it's your turn. Make sure you practice. Of course, Ananda is always busy taking care of the Buddha. Ananda is a great bodhisattva. So he sacrifices, in a sense, he sacrificed his own awakening. He could have awakened in the Buddha's life, but he took care of the Buddha. But once the Buddha passed away, he went into meditation and he became an arahat. Okay? So, in a sense, Ananda is safe. His life is safe because he's a streamliner. Streamliner means you're sure to go into awakening anytime. See? But he wants to take care of the Buddha. So again, you see an example here where it is a safe situation where he can take care of someone important to him in the Buddha. But once that person passes away, he becomes an arahat. I know someone on Facebook too. He tells me he wants to be a monk too. But he says he has a father who is very sick. But he says once his father passes away, he wants to be a monk too. All right? You can see pictures of him and the monk all the time on his Facebook. So this is where we can adjust ourselves according to our karma. That's the meaning here. But don't give up the training. Okay? It's always easy to fall back. But it's very difficult to catch up. So we have this kind of fellowship here, which is very special. I can tell you here, while the temples are destroying Buddhism, you gathered here are building up Buddhism by your own practice. Right? I mean, people go every Sunday to the temple, listen to talks, and nothing happens to them. You find they don't change. Year after year, 10 years after they grow old, and then they're going. I have people, who are dying. They come to our class, and next thing you hear, they pass away already. But no change. Very sad, isn't it? Because the real thing is practice the Dharma. It's not listening to talks all the time. Different teachers say, "Wow, I listen to so many teachers." But nothing happens to you. You don't need to listen to teachers. Listen to the Dharma. Practice it. take that next step slightly further, one step ahead. That's your practice. As long as you have the suttas, whether your teacher alive or not, Achancha alive or not, doesn't matter. The Dharma is with us. The suttas are with us. Okay? So, that's why the Buddha says, don't forget Ananda. Therefore, Ananda, you should train yourself thus. I shall strive ever higher. So that's our birthday message for the birthday man. Eh? Right. Okay, so that's the end of the sutta. I'm very happy I found this sutta. Now, I didn't know it was Brother Lo's birthday, by the way, so it's a wonderful coincidence. Eh? Right, so any questions?
I read one passage just now say about the practice the Dharma. It would practice the Dharma in accordance with the Dharma.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, practice the Dharma in accordance with the Dharma.
Outside there's a lot of practice.
Yeah.
You don't know whether it's in accordance.
Yeah, in accordance with teacher so and so, in accordance with this book, with that scholar, no, that's not the real practice. It must be accordance with the Dharma, as found in the Sutta, the Buddha's teaching. That's why. You see, there are many words like that reminding us, but we forget. That's why, even in Mahayana, you have a saying, and follow the teaching, not the teacher. It's also found in the Pali teachings. Yeah, follow the teaching, not the teacher. Teacher is important, yes, but the teacher transmits the teaching to you. And the wise teacher will say, please follow the teaching. Yeah? So that's the meaning. The reason is because teachers change. Sometimes you hear the teacher, sometimes he may say wrong things, not aware of it. So, but the teaching is always clear. Right? What does the teacher mean? This is what we must find out. Alright? And by the way, this Gawesh is a very nice name also, so in case you want to have a Dhamma name, just think of this one. So this is a wonderful coincidence. No? Any other question you want to ask? One is waiting for the big moment. No questions, huh? Okay, then we close with a short reflection. So this is a time when we just sit peacefully. You can open your eyes or close your eyes if you like. And remember this wonderful moment we are gathered here, which is rare because we are gathered here for one main purpose, that is to study the Buddha's teaching as handed down through the suttas. The teachings are very simple. They repeat themselves. They keep telling us again and again this wonderful thing we can do to follow the Buddha's path. And we are gathered here in peace. This is a small renunciation we are practicing, letting go of the world for a while. And this is what Buddhism is about. If you want to remember Buddhism, this one word, renunciation, is not just for monks. Renunciation also for us. It means letting go. When we are gathered here, we are letting go of the world for the moment. And every birthday also, we let go of the years. We let the years pass. A new year comes along. Wisdom comes to us. So if we practice the Dharma, we find the older we grow, the more we know, the more we understand, the happier we are. And we feel so joyful that the Dharma is with us. Now, reflecting in this way is wonderful good karma. By this wonderful karma, may we all be well and happy, our minds be clear so that we can study the Dhamma carefully. And may we be blessed with good health, wisdom, and the courage to at least aspire to stream winning in this life itself. May our loved ones be well and happy. May our teachers be well and happy too. May those who are practicing the Dharma to be well and happy and reach the fruit of their practice in this life itself. May those who have lost their way too find their way back quickly to the true teaching. And may we today especially direct our loving kindness to Brother Lo, who has been keeping this place open for us so that we can study the Dhamma, wishing him wealth, good health, happiness, and many more years of happiness so that we can together continue to study the Dhamma. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.